Hello and welcome to the Growing in Business interview series. I'm your host, Fleming Johnson, and today I'm joined by John James, who is founder and general manager of Harvest Nature. John, thank you so much for joining us. Would you like to kick us off with a brief background as to who you are and what you do?
Sure. I thank you, Fleming. I appreciate the time and interview. Um, I was in the pharmaceutical world for a long time, for most of my career, and I started to I became the scientific advisor for documentary film crew and we went to Amazon and Madagascar and Papua New Guinea and uh, I learned a lot about healers and plants and different how they use them, how they prepare them. And I collected lots of samples and I had them tested from all these places, hundreds and hundreds of samples. The one that shined out the most was Aloe macrocauda from Madagascar, and that it was increasing stem cells in circulation. And the company that I was talking with, they asked me if I could find a supplier. And I took vacation, came to Madagascar again, and found out that there really wasn't anybody doing anything with it on any scale, and decided that I had had enough of the pharmaceutical world and I was ready to be an entrepreneur. So I decided to do it myself. And I talked with family, I talked with a lot of people before I took that leap, but it was uh, it was scary, but I did it, and that's how I got into it. Um, if that
Okay, tell
helps.
me, what are some of the common misconceptions about running a business, and how have you addressed them?
Well, one of the things I've learned is it is good to be good at a lot of stuff. I can fix things, I can build things, I can write well, I can do electrical and plumbing, and all of these have come in very handy for trying to start a business. You have to be able to wear a lot of different hats, unless you come into it with a lot of money, where you can pay people, which I did not. And I would say I know people that think that all I do is sit back and my people make all the money and I just cash the checks and stuff. And that isn't really the case. That's not even close. So uh, I'm working every day, and sometimes I kind of have two work days because I have the Madagascar work day and then the US work day where I'm answering questions and dealing with results from laboratories and potential clients and regulations in the US and all those other things. So I often have kind of 2 days going on because it's 8 hours different here from there. So um, it is a lot of work, and you make your luck. One of the things I believe is the harder you work, the more luck you get. You make your luck when you do this. There is no luck that just pops up out of nowhere. Um, that happens here.
Tell me, how do you maintain, given what you've already described, how do you maintain a work-life balance as a business owner? Do you have any personal rituals or habits that keep you motivated and focused?
Well, yeah, I'd say the most important thing is to get some exercise. Don't let yourself be sitting and getting lazy, and that just opens your mind, gets your blood flowing. First thing I do every morning is I take my dog for a 30-minute walk, a good brisk walk. But I also do other exercise and weightlifting and things like that. But I would say that helps me more than anything. And it's not a good balance. It's very difficult to have a good balance. And I would say I've not done a good job of having a balance for most of the time. But as time has gone on and I've stressed out and gone a little crazy a few times, I've had to learn how to relax, how to go ahead and take a long weekend or a week of vacation and just do it. Don't, but it's not easy, and you have it's even harder for me than exercising. um, but I think for everybody it'd be different. And I've learned, though, one of the things I've really learned, Fleming, is, and I've learned this from the Malagasy. They are very poor people, but they are rich in relationships. And the thing that makes life worthwhile is relationships, whether that's with your family, friends, co-workers, whatever. That's really what a work-life balance, I think, ends up being is don't forget all the relationships, make them all happen, put effort into every single one of them as much as you can. Um,
Great, great. In the constantly evolving business landscape, how do you stay adaptable and open to change? Are there specific strategies that you use to remain innovative?
Well, yeah, I think well, you always have to keep learning. That's the key thing. And I'm reading scientific journals on a regular basis to try to figure out if there's more learned about aloes or more learned about drying methods or more learned about well, import and export and rules and regulations both here and in Madagascar and in between for shipping and stuff. Always keep learning and have access to these sites that tell you things. And I also am gotten pretty religious about podcasts about business and about legal and FDA regulations and things like that, where I just listen for something that I don't know about, something new, something that has changed. And like recently found out that the USDA has wanted me to wants companies like myself to do another level of registration of everything that's going in there. But if I wasn't out there keeping my finger on the pulse of things, I wouldn't have learned about that. And it's easy to get caught up where all you're doing is emailing and answering and dealing with what's right in front of you. But you have to keep something out there. You have to keep journals coming in and other sources of information coming in so that you can monitor these things and keep on top of them. Um,
Could you offer now a glimpse into your future plans and goals for your business? What do you envision for the next chapter of your entrepreneurial journey?
I have twofold things here. One, the Allomacroclada, the Allomac that I produce and sell, that is becoming more and more popular, and I'm reaching the limit of what my current facility can produce. So I've started to build another facility, uh, and it's closer to where some of my other cultivation is. That's far from my current facility. So, and I have plans to do additional facilities to increase my production capacity for Allomac. But I also have several other really promising medicinal plants that I've been working on, just growing them in the background and how to optimize their processing and get that. But so I have plans to both increase my production significantly of the Allomac and to incorporate new products. One that's really, really good for kidney stones, and another one that is very good for nausea and diarrhea. And they're both just natural products that require minimal processing. So, you know, that's what I'm targeting next. Another thing on the long-term scale of this, just to throw this in, I've started a business in Madagascar, and my children have no desire to come here and take it over after me. And my family is supportive of it. They help me, they advise, but they're not going to come here and run it after me either. So one of the things I am working on is giving shares to my top managers, and then eventually I'm going to transfer all of the ownership of this company all to Malagasy. And so when I retire, I'll retire a little bit at a time, and assuming I'm able to. But I want it to be in the hands of Malagasy for the future, and that's important to me. This Allomacroclada belongs to the Malagasy, and they deserve to make a good living off of that as well. And there's not many good opportunities for jobs here, so um, that's one of my long-term goals. Just to share that.
Good. Now, what advice would you offer to aspiring entrepreneurs who are, say, just starting their journey or facing challenges in their businesses?
Don't try to do it all yourself. Try to get advice from people. Um, for instance, one of the things I did here in Madagascar is I became a board member for the American Chamber of Commerce. And that gets me connections with the embassy, the US Embassy, with the WHO, with UNICEF, with USAID, with the International Monetary Fund, the World Health Organization. I get to meet all kinds of people who have all kinds of life experiences, and I get advice from all of them in different ways. Many of it's not directly related to the business, but it's related to living or being in another country like this, and how you manage things, and how you access government, and how you get help from the US or other agencies about things. But always seek advice from people and find people that you respect, that have, succeeded in some ways or what, and befriend them. And, I'm even with some of them, I'm even straight up going, I'm looking for a mentor in this area. And I'm hoping that you can do this for me. And some of them are very willing. Some of them say, okay, bring a bottle of whiskey over and we'll talk all evening. There's different, every format's a little bit different and every person's a little bit different, but keep learning, but find people to help you. Don't try to do everything yourself. That's probably my biggest piece of advice. Yes. Um, so I don't know if that
Great.
helped.
Great. Thank you so much for your time today, John. It was great meeting you and learning more about your entrepreneurial journey.
I
And
appreciate it.
to everyone watching, I look forward to seeing you in our next episode.
Thanks, Fleming.
And that is that. And I can